Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair. Basically, today we are going to talk about the project management. What is project management? What is project? Project basically we can say set of tasks. Basically, you can say set of tasks which is collected from the set of requirements which is given by the client. Basically, they want the system of the manual side. They basically want to create their manual system to computerize. Basically, so computerize means there need to be a software. So basically it's set of tasks which is converted from the set of requirements, and set of requirement basically we can convert this to the set of tasks, and set of tasks basically can be segregated to set of sprint basically. And set of sprint basically is a basically it's a easy way to collect to finish the project on time basically, so that basically the project can be finished on time. So set of sprint which has collected from the set of tasks, and set of tasks basically collected from the set of user stories that has to be completed within on time. So that basically whatever task which is going to be completed, that basically in simple language we can say that is as a project which has to be given one name, that basically client also can give the name, that basically software company also can give the name. So basically project is set of requirements basically we can say which is collected by the software industry, software project managers, project directors. They basically collect the set of requirements, and set of requirements basically is converted to the set of software. So basically we have many softwares in that basically a set of requirements can be fulfilled, like PHP is there, Microsoft is there, Python is there, Salesforce is there, C++ is there, C is there, COBOL is there, and many basically set of tools are there, softwares are there. Within basically we can collect the requirements, and we can collect that requirements, and we can give that requirement into some functional specifications, and that functional specification we can it's convert to the understandable language, that is basically client can understand the thing basically. So that basically we have to create one system, we have to create one screen, we have to create one set of your objects, set of object has to be converted to set of screens, forms, and then basically user can able to understand the screen. And set of screen basically you can convert this to set of modules, and set of modules basically converts to the set of projects basically. So that project basically you can say it's a set of tasks, set of user stories, set of sprint. So that when gets merged, that basically you can give the name as a project basically. So that project has to be managed. That's why basically it's given as a project management. So that project has to be managed. Managed means the project has to be complete on time. Project has to be completed on systematic basis. Project has to be completed in a systematic manner, so that basically whenever any other companies of the software companies see that project, so they can be able to understand easily that yeah, this is the project, this was the project basically, and this was the things basically which was asked by the client. And according to the client basically the set of software company have created this project. So client gives the requirements, and according to the requirements the project are completed, project gets complete on time. So project has to be completed on time. That's why basically set of management plans basically we have to do. For that basically the software company has created many roles, like software project director are there, project manager are there, project leaders are there, software developers are there, senior software developers are there, team leaders are there, quality people basically, quality people, project documentation preparation people are there, quality level people are there, testers are there, content writers are there basically, so that the all the documents has to be right in the understandable language. So the next software company when see the documentation, or the current company basically any other project manager comes, he see the project's specification, so he can able to easily able to understand the projects. That's why basically content writers are there, and project manager also writes the project management plans. Many documentations are also, so that also we will see later on. First, this was a project management. So Basically we have saw what actually the project management is. So we have saw the project management, what actually the project management is. Now basically we will see few documents and which basically says that in project management these documents are required. For example, project charter are there, project schedule document is required, business cases are required, risk registration document is required, basically where all the risks are registered. Then basically project budget documentation is there, where the company sets their budget. That for example, 10-day project is there. So in 10-day, basically company has decided $10,000. Basically, it's a small project. Basically, that basically is the how to prepare the tables. Basically, one project is there. So then that project basically set off. Tables has to be prepared. So basically for that, but $10,000 has been done the budget. So this is the budget. So budget of the project basically you can say. Then basically it comes as a project communication plan. So basically whenever you are doing any project, so you need to communicate with the clients. So that has to be tell to client also that we are going to communicate from this documentation. So basically from this documentation, sorry, from these tools, basically it can be Skype, it can be their own project tools, it can be flows.com. Flows.com is also one of the United States of America's tool. So basically they there are many tools, other tools are also project manager.com is there, they also have many tools. And like this basically we have many tools which can be communicated to for the project. And basically it's a communication plan. So through email also we are going to communicate, we are going to communicate through chat also, we are going to communicate through video also, we are going to communicate through phone also. So each and every communication plan you have to write to that documentation, that is project communication management plan basically you can say. So that basically whenever client want to communicate, any new client in basically client side, the new employee came and he want to communicate with the software company, then how he will? So he just need to see that documentation, that is project communication plan documentation. In from that communication project plan documentation he just need to see, yeah, these are all the communication plans, so we need to communicate with this only. So these all are the communication plan basically you can say. And then basically there are many other tools also, project status report, many state reports are there of the you have to see the status of each and every document, project reports, closet, project closer templates are there, sign off. In this basically you can say each and every, for example I will take one example, there is one login module which has to be completed. So that has completed. So basically, but we need the sign off mail from the client. So yeah, basically the requirement which you have given, according to that requirement, we have completed the login module. But we need the sign off mail. Without sign off mail, we can't say that yeah, our project this login module is over. We need one proof that yeah, the client which requirement the client has given, and we have completed that project, completed that module, but we need one sign off mail. So we have to take that sign off mail, so we can add that sign off mail in project closer template. And there are many other closer templates available. And now basically project proposal template is there. Project proposal means whenever you start the project basically, sorry, whenever you want to give the quotation to the client, that this is the proposal of our project, that this will be the cost, this will be the function of the requirement which you have given. According to that we have converted the requirement to the set of specifications, set of user screens, set of modules have you designed. So these all are modules and this will be the cost of the project. So project proposal we have to give to the client, that this is our proposal. If you accept that proposal, then we can proceed with the project. Then we need the proposal sign. Then the project will start. Like this, basically project proposal templates are there. Project cost management templates are also there. What will be the cost of the each and everything? What your modules, each and every resources cost, how the project cost is going to be handled. That for example, $1 lakh is a project cost. So how that $1 lakh project has been divided. how many project amount is going to be given to the project management side, the coding side, database management side, the server side, how many percentage divide, how many basically we can say cost has been divided to the many departments. Then basically project specifications are there. Project specification means basically you can say one screen has to be developed. So that screen, how basically developer will develop the screen? He needs some source. He need one source that yeah, this is the screen. Like this basically the project is going to, this login screen has to be going to be look, and these are all the fields, these all are the buttons, these all are the functionality, these all are the validations. According to the validation, whenever the user do the login, this is going to be the table where basically user is going to, where the system is going to check whether the login exists or not, whether the password is correct or not. Further set of tables are table has to be put here, like this is the table name, this is the user field, each and every specific functional documentation you can say of the login module. So basically it's given as a name project specification, program specification also you can say. It's a program specification actually. Programming set of programs equal to projects. And then basically UTC is there. UTC is basically you can say it's a unit test case. Basically each and every test case has to be prepared. That for example, I will take one example. There is one login screen which is getting developed, and in this login screen basically there is one login field, so that has to be enter something, and that has to be in character only. So these are validation that are user cases basically we can say. One user case I will take as an example. For example, login user id is a field. So how the case is going to be right? Basically one case I will take, user id must enter as a character. Another basically the data which has entered by the system, that says that we have entered number, so the number is not valid. So number basically actual data is character, but the system has entered number, so that is a non-valid. So that is one case. Then basically in password basically field basically we can take that password has to be there. This is one must condition. So the actual value is password must be there, but the enter data is, it has not entered the data. So that basically is a false. Correct is password has entered, password has to be there, and in the existing user entry password has entered. So these both condition got satisfied. So this basically this type of, it's a case basically, we can say unit test cases. So this also has to be entered. Then basically HLD, basically you can say high level design, each and every functional requirement, system architect, each and everything has to be dumped in the HLD. So this is basically about the few documentation side. And now basically we will see few project management plan documents. Basically project management plan, basically whenever do you do the plans, so which all are the plans basically which system has to be done, where project manager or project director has to be do, like scope management plan. Scope management plan means basically you can say what is the scope of the project. Basically you can say it's a boundary, that this is the boundary, within this boundary only you have to do the project. So the project manager or project director has drawn one boundary, that within this boundary you have to do the project. That's all. So you can say it's a functional enter requirements which has dumped in the scope basically said this is the scope. So this basically scope management contains the scope of the project basically. Another documentation is basically requirement management plan basically. Requirement, what is the requirement of the entire specification? You can say it's a project specification, PS basically. Program specification you can say. The specification of the screen basically. I just now I given one example of the login screen. So that is basically one specification you can say. Then schedule management plan, then what is the schedule of the project, how the project is going to be going to be finished. WBS basically you can say that what is the schedule of the each and every task which has been drawn by the project manager or project director, how this is going to be done. Then the another is basically cost management plan, the entire cost of the project, how the cost has been divided to the each and every department, that is software testing quality, each and every department how the cost has been divided. Then basically you can say quality management plan, each and every quality level work, basically you can say it's a documentation of the work that has to be also so in project management plan this also comes. Resource management plan, how basically you are going to complete the project, which type of resources you are going to take, from where the resources are going to be taken, has taken, is going to be taken. So like this basically each and every resource management plan you have to draw basically. So basically whenever project starts basically that time you don't have to solve the resource, you have to be ready with the resource, you have to be allocate with the resource that this cost has. For example, $1 lakh is a project, so from $1 lakh $20,000 we have already allocated to the some resource. So we have reserved the resource, then only we can start the project basically, because once the project has started then basically you can't, it would not be like that that the project has started and we are searching for the resource. So this should not happen. So the project has started and we have allocated the resources also, and the money also is allocated from the 1 lakh to the 20,000. Sorry, 1 lakh is the total cost of the project and 20,000 we have allocated to the resources. So 20,000 is all $20,000 is already minus from the $1 lakh project. So like this basically resource management plan you have to draw. Then basically communication management plan is there. Then just now we have seen the communication, which type of communication we are going to be used for to complete the project. Basically, when we are going to complete the project, then how you are going to complete the project, which type of communication tool basically you are going to use. Risk management plan is there, risk registered basically you can say, if you are doing any project then basically which type of risk is going to be covered. So that type of the entire documentation you have to prepare, you have to be prepared with the risk also. For example, there is one new technology came, and that new technology says that yeah, we don't have any resources available in search engine also of that new technology. So that is basically a risk basically, and the developers are also new for the new technology. So you have to take this as a in a risk register basically, you have to add this in a risk management plan basically. Then basically stakeholder management documentation is there, each and every stakeholder information you have to put in this documentation. Then change management plan is there. Change management plan means basically there is one change control board team. Basically, they basically approves each and every projects basically. Each and every project change management. So for example, there is one project ongoing. In between basically some changes came basically. So when the change management plan had designed these documentations, this project, that time basically they have given approval. Two changes can be approved by the project manager and two changes basically can be approved by the project director. So basically there are four change management changes which can be approved by the project manager and project director. So two changes can be approved by the both team, both people, that are project manager or project directors basically, project director basically you can say. So like this basically cost change control board basically team is they basically decides each and every plans of the change management system basically, because change management system basically if any changes happens then it affects the entire projects basically. So basically if the change is must, then basically after four change require request change request document has already done and four change request has done by the project manager and project director, another one change request has came, and that is must. Then basically you have to tell to the change control board, and then change control board basically will talk with the client side and they will say this will be going to be cost. Basically we have already given you four change request that also free. and then another change request which is going to become that will be paid. So like this, basically we have signed the document with the client side. So client will say, yeah, that would be okay. Then basically they will be changing the another proposal to the client that this will be change, not proposal, basically change request documentation. We can say that this will be the cost of the change request. Basically, you can say it's a proposal of the change request. Basically, you can say, but it's not proposal of the project. Basically, you can say change request documentation of the cost, basically of the change request which his client is going to do, client has to do basically from software company side. So like this, basically change request documentation is there. There are configuration management plan is there. Each and every configuration of the project basically has to be entered here. Each and every parameters, it should not be hide by the client side, that it should not be hide. There should not be any parameters which has to be hide from the client side to the client side. So basically each and every parameters which you are going to be enter, that has to display in front of client basically. Then problem management plan is there, issue management plan is there. So basically each and every problems when comes, then you have to register it to the problem management plan, that is documentation excel file also. You can say give to the word file also. Or if you have any system basically available with you, that is basically SDLC system. Basically there are many tools available. Jira is there. There basically problem management plan, basically you can enter there. Issue management plan is also there. Like this all are the documentation basically. We can say we don't have any system available, we have all the documentation, but we can convert this entire documentation, each and everything, to the one system also basically. For that, basically you have to create one system for this entire documentation basically, we can say. So this is basically about the project management part 1 basically. After this, basically I'm going to release one part 2 um, video also for this project management basically. What actually project management is, how project management is helping to the system, how SDLC is helping to the system, how basically SDLC say that we should have to be prepared for the each and every system. Whenever the system comes, whenever the requirement comes, basically we have to be ready with the each and every tools. And how basically we are going to discuss about few tools also, or basically I have created one tool also. In that tool, basically each and everything, each and every parameters basically has set. For example, one example I will give. For example, I'm going to change add one change request documentation. And that change request documentation says that this is going to be changed, and this many days is going to be taken for this system, for this change request. After fourth change request, client has already taken, this is a paid request. So how, what is going to effect from this change request? From change request means, for example, you are writing that this is the you have prepared the change request, and you are dumping in one system that this is the change request. So what are the effects going to happen in which documentation? That entire documentation screen that will be going to be displayed in front of you. For example, if you are doing the change request of this module on this screen, then what is going to be effect in cost management plan, in cost screen of the entire system, what is going to affect, what is going to affect in a schedule management plan, what is going to be affect in time management plan, what is going to be affect in the risk register, is there any risk connected with this module. Each and every resources management plan, if you are creating this module, then which resources is required. If any existing resource has to be taken from the another project, then how, what are the effects going to be happen. Each and every module has going to be displayed in front of you, and going to tell that, yeah, these all are the things which is going to be effect when you are registering this risk, this cost management plan which is registered in the system. Basically, I'm talking about the system which is going to be prepared, which has prepared by me, which has designed by me. And then basically you can say, whenever you are going to register this cost management plan, and whenever you register the cost management plan, then what are the screens going to get effect, each and everything. So after this message that these all are the things going to be effect, after that basically you have to say, you have to proceed with this change of management registered, which change management documentation which you have registered just now for this particular module. Then if the project manager or project director says yes, then basically you can proceed with that documentation. Then proceed with this project cost management, one data basically you can say, one module basically you can say. So whenever the client, whenever the project manager register this cost project change request, then these all are the things which is going to be effect. So list each and every list of the documentation of the screen or documentation, or the list of screens which is going to be effect, that is going to be display in front of you. So you just need to click that screen and just need to change the parameters, set of parameters, that's all. So this is one small part of the module which I has prepared for from my side for the SDLC. So basically, this is from my side, from the related to project management. What actually project is and what is the management basically. How project manager, project directors, project company CEOs, vice president basically how basically system works, how management works. So little bit about this basically, how basically I works. It's about me basically, how basically I am doing the handling the each and every task basically. So this is from my side. This is sign up from Sunilar Nair. So next video basically we are going to see how basically we have created the system of this particular entire SDLC basically. That is, it's sign up from my side, Sunilar.